I bought a poetry handbook by Mary Oliver, which states in the introduction, "Everyone knows that poets are born and not made in school. This is true also of painters, sculptors, and musicians. Something that is essential can't be taught, it can only be given or earned or formulated in a manner too mysterious to be picked apart and redesigned for the next person. Still, painters, sculptors, and musicians require a lively acquaintance with the history of their particular field and with past as well as current theories and techniques, and the same is true of poets. Whatever can't be taught, there's a great deal that can and must be learned. This book is about the things that can be learned. It is about matters of craft primarily. It is about the part of the poem that is a written document as opposed to a mystical document, which of course the poem is also." I do not agree with this at all. If you want to be good at something, practice. According to the 100-hour rule, which was popularized by Malcolm Gladwell in 2008, all you have to do to be better than 95% of the world in 1 year is to practice something 100 hours a year, which is only 16.43 minutes a day. If you want to be a genius, read, study. According to BigThink.com, reading rewires your brain for higher intelligence and empathy. According to an article on BusinessInsider.com, 9 of the most successful people, including Elon Musk, read a lot. I took the Understanding Einstein class on Coursera, taught by Larry Randall Lagerstrom, and he said that physicists try to avoid the term genius because physicists aren't born geniuses. They become smart because they put a lot of effort into their craft. Einstein put a lot of time and effort into his practice. He read a lot of physics and philosophy books. He wasn't born a genius. Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration, which according to Forbes.com actually should be credited to Kate Sanborn instead of Thomas Edison. So people are born with some talent and intelligence, but it is mostly perspiration. So genius is not some magical thing. If you want to be a genius, read a lot, practice a lot. I've been called a genius before, but I was not born a genius, and I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to encourage other people who want to be smart. I read a lot. I was told by a librarian that I read the most out of all the people she knows. And she's a librarian. And so it's not some magical thing. Poetry is not some magical thing. If you want to be good at poetry, practice daily for at least 16.43 minutes a day according to the 100-hour rule. So if you want to be a genius, if you want to be good at something, you can. Just practice, just read a lot, and I also want to share a post I made on Facebook in 2016. By 1905, the working class in Russia had begun envisioning a better life, and these visions began with books. When I came in from work, I did not lie down to sleep immediately, recalled a weaver named Fyodor Samolov. Instead, I picked up a book, lit a candle that I had bought with my own savings, and read until I could no longer keep my eyelids from closing. He wasn't alone. The speed with which factory workers learned to read was a little short of astonishing, noted one historian. By 1905, 6 out of every 10 laborers in Moscow were literate, an increase of 20% in less than 10 years. And in St. Petersburg, the number of working men and women who could read was 3 times greater than in the rest of Russia. Now, the factory worker in St. Petersburg could not read was the exception. The opposite was still true back in his peasant village. These readers had almost no access to political writings. Censorship laws made such literature illegal, and newspapers faced stiff fines and forced closings if they included material considered offensive by the government. The result was that they steered clear of such writing. As for books, only those deemed appropriate by the Tsar's censors were allowed on library shelves. I read Jules Verne and James Fenimore Cooper and was captivated by their descriptions of journeys and discoveries, said Weaver Samilov. Over a period of 5 to 6 years, I read through the most diverse assortment of books imaginable, but I never encountered one that could have awakened my class consciousness. Even so, he added, books taught me how to think. These literate workers were now able to picture a government more responsive to their needs. They had caught sight of a new life, recalled factory worker Semen Balashov, one very different from our life of servitude. In January 1905, he joined 10,000 other men, women, and children and abandoned their jobs. Taking to the streets, they refused to return to work until their demands were met. What did they want? A living wage, an 8-hour workday, according to affordable housing and public education. This is from The Family Romanov, Murder, Rebellion, and the Fall of Imperial Russia by Candace Fleming. The Role of Books in the Russian Revolution. This is why you read, and never completely entrust your education to any institution, be it a school, church, government, etc. The ability to think for yourself is power. So if you want to be a genius, if you want to get good at something, practice, read. That's all there is to it.